dad will still take the money from our family. We'll go lacking. Therefore, church will be good.
Yes.
And that's honestly that's a problem.
It is.
I
I could go to Disneyland. I was
welcome to another installment of the one, the only, the Unfiltered. Today we have a batch of people who have stressed me out tremendously. I'm sure you guys can relate. These are the preacher's kids. Yay! And without further ado, we're gonna have our loving psalmist reverend guest pray us in.
Everybody bow their heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to come and say thank you for bringing us all together. We want to say thank you for this platform, and thank you for giving us someone to come and share our testimonies with. Lord, we ask that, someone gets saved by our transparency and by our truth, and we just want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Okay, so we're going to let everybody on the panel introduce themselves, starting from that end over there.
All right, so I'm Rick.
Yes.
Rick.
What's going on, everybody? I am TJ Wilkins, son of Overseer Theo Wilkins.
Yeah. My name is Chris McFrazier, known as Cam. I'm a son of Bishop Harrington McFrazier.
Hey y'all, it's me. I'm Amber. I am the daughter of Reverend Eric Phillips, Pastor Eric Phillips, whatever you call him. That's my dad.
All right, so y'all know preachers' kids have a little stigma behind them. They're not always the most well-behaved kids of the cloth. And so today we just really want to get to the bottom of why they have that reputation. So I will start off by asking you all, do you think preachers' kids should be obligated to attend their parents' ministry?
To a certain extent, yes. I feel like if you're still growing up in the same house and stuff, you guys should still basically eat the same stuff, eat the same meal.
I feel like depending on the relationship that some preachers' kids have with their parents will determine if, they should feel obligated or even if they want to be a part of the parents' ministry. It all determines on the relationship with the parents and the child.
I think the kids shouldn't have a choice growing up. I mean, this should be this is what our household does. Then when you get of age, to think for yourself and be, and make conscious decisions, then you can choose whether or not to stay in that ministry or to, go to another ministry. So
I agree with that. I also think that as a child, you should go to your parents' church. You don't have no say so. You're a kid. What do you? No, Mom. No. We're gonna do what I say. And I also think that when you get older, like at our age, sometimes I go to my dad's church. Sometimes I don't. It just depends on who I want to listen to. There's more than one great pastor, and you don't have to go to your parents' church just because they're your parents. You still love them. You still support them. You ain't gotta be there though.
Right. And so we're gonna make sure that we don't leave out our co-host, who is also a PK. How would you answer that question?
I agree with what everybody said. Of course, when you're young, it's like you gotta go to church with your parents, so you don't have no choice. But as you get older, as you become spiritually mature and just grown and just maturing within yourself, I feel like you can make your own decisions. Like you don't have to go to that church just because that's your dad, just because that's your mom, just because that's Christian.
Do you think preachers' kids are obligated to have a role in their parents' ministry? When you get of age, should you have to have a responsibility in your parents' church? Amber?
Absolutely not. Because I did absolutely nothing at my dad's church. And I just didn't want to. Like, I'm not, just because God called you to do that, He didn't call me to sing.
I feel like you're not obligated to, but I feel like if you want to understand how ministry works, then I think it's good to have a position or not even a position, but just to be involved inside of the ministry. I think it's good too.
For me, in my situation, I feel like it's necessary for the preacher's kids to be involved in the ministry because you don't want other kids in the church doing stuff and then they see the pastor's kids. Why they not doing it?
That's the stigma. But the pastor's kid, stop. We didn't have to be a pastor's kid.
And then it's like, so I feel like the pastor's kids should be not involved in everything, but involved in something.
Right.
I agree too. Especially when your family, they run the church. This is like what they do. It's different when you have like your just people that go to the actual church staff in the ministry. They see the pastor kids not attending any of the events and stuff. It looks wrong. Okay, but also I don't feel like you still should be obligated. But if you're able to help in a certain situation and you know you have the ability to do so, you should.
So y'all pretty much said everything, but I do agree. If you have a passion or if you have something that you like to do or want to do, you should be involved to some capacity. But I don't feel like you should feel like you have to do it or like forced to do it just because like your parent is a pastor or your parent is a minister. But if you do have something that you're passionate about and that God, you feel God has called you to, then of course be involved. But don't do it just because you feel like you have to because my dad is up there watching me and if I don't do nothing, like, it's over for me. Like,
do you think preachers' kids get judged on a greater scale than other kids?
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
Let's let you start.
Absolutely. Okay. We can't. It's one kid can do another thing, and then if we do the same thing, it's yeah.
I have an example.
Exactly. It's a mountain compared to a molehill.
Okay, Sasha, share
So
your
you
example.
remember that time where we got in trouble with because we was playing during communion?
Yes.
Now, if it was anybody else, we was
Thank you. Come on,
bro.
girl.
Okay, we was like kids. You had to be probably younger than that. We was kids laughing and talking, playing during communion. And after church, we got our butts tore up. But I feel like if that was anybody else's kid, like the parent would have waited until they got home and been like, "You was wrong for X, Y, and Z." Our parents did not wait until we got home. Like we got whooped right outside the church.
But
So I feel like they look at us like, you know what you're supposed to do. Like you're supposed to do this. But if it's anybody else, then it's like,
no, but okay, to that story, you were the PK, but we all got food. So I can't say that it was just because you were a PK.
Yeah.
It was probably like worse because it's like, oh, look at her returning daughter back there doing it up.
I've gotten embarrassed over the mic before. I've been sleeping like Chris. Wake up! I'm like,
why you
But no,
yes. Why
Why
are
are
you
you
preaching?
sleeping?
He was tired.
Listen.
He was tired.
Musicians know.
But no, like to his point, like our pastor used to do that to anybody's kid. It didn't have to just be a preacher's kid. I do feel like maybe y'all get looked at a little different, but we all should be if our parents are like active in ministry or like active in hearing the word, should be raised under the same standards.
It's just something about being a preacher's or like a pastor's kid that because they have that title of pastor, minister, or preacher, or bishop, or whatever the case is, they automatically assume that their kids is supposed to be just like them, like no flaws, no nothing. So,
Amber, any examples?
Okay. It's just really aggravating because, like, this is why a lot of, like, church people are not on my social media because I can't post Justin LeBoy because everything he posts is nothing at all, you know. If you know, you know. But it's just, one time I posted something, it was like a screenshot, like a repost. And one of the ladies who's really close to my dad, she was like, you shouldn't be posting that because, what did she say? Something about you just shouldn't be posting that. And I said, well, you shouldn't be watching my story. And I blocked her. And my dad was like, you shouldn't have said that to her. She's an elder. Okay, but respect goes both ways. And I really don't feel like what I said was disrespectful because I didn't ask to follow you. You asked to follow me.
yeah.
So when you ask to follow me, you won't see what I post. If you don't like it, Goodbye.
Yeah.
I know that's real. Okay.
I don't care. I'm grown, so whatever. I mean, hey, you can judge me if you want to, but at the end of the day, we all gotta live our life.
Exactly.
You know, so.
I agree.
Oh, I have another
Oh,
one.
human.
It was one time I was at a jazz festival. Like, you know, old people. I mean, you know, not to the season. Maybe at the jazz festival. And I was there with one of my friends because I like jazz. We was chilling. One of the little members gonna be like, "What you doing here? What are you doing here?
We're at the same
Thank
place.
you. I love
Oh, you have a little drink.
Sure did. And you know, my business. I am of age, above the age, and you had a drink too. I can't I don't care. You the secretary.
Uh-oh.
I guess we know who it is.
Well, there's more than one, so we good.
So, moving on. Most people view preachers' kids as rebellious. Would you agree? Why or why not?
I wouldn't say rebellious.
Boy, if you don't get
Because me personally, I know.
I'm listening.
Thank you. I wouldn't put me in the category of rebellious. I'm not a perfect saint. I don't do everything I was told.
Good man for the honesty.
However, I'm not finna just go out and blatantly disrespect the man of God like that. It's a level. Yes, he's your father and your pastor, so it's a level of respect that you ought to have towards him.
Me personally, I don't feel like I'm rebellious because I'm not. I'm not rebellious. I can be hard headed sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not rebellious, but because I always try to follow my parents' advice. So I feel like if I'm following their advice, that doesn't mean like I'm really rebelling, against my parents. So I don't feel like I'm rebellious.
So I think in our teenage years, probably so. Only because, we don't know any better and we just look at it like, oh, that's just my dad. He's just a preacher. Like, he's just a pastor or whatever. But I feel like as we grow up, we should start being, more aware of our actions, what we do, what we say. Because, like you said, we are representing, somebody, not only our father, but, our pastor or whatever. So I wasn't rebellious. I feel like I'd be chilling. But I feel like everybody had their moments. Like, everybody had their times. The water is not
That's the rebellious thing. So it's not about the water. It's time to continue.
Was you rebellious?
Me? No, I was not rebellious.
He don't
Thank
look
you.
rebellious. He looks like
Thank
a good
you.
Christian man.
And I am. And I am. Okay? But the question was, are preacher kids considered or viewed as rebellious?
Okay.
I see somewhat, because if we're not in our parents' ministry and stuff, they'd be like, oh, so what's going on at home?
Right.
You feel me? And then it just brings on a whole list of things. But I wouldn't consider all pastor kids rebellious.
I don't think I would.
That's good.
Just me personally, because I didn't follow all the churchy things. Your dad was a pastor, then you're automatically just gonna do everything that he says. Be in this ministry over the youth. No, I just did my own thing, and also my dad is a different type of pastor.
Yeah.
He's young, and he thinks he's young. He's not. He don't do my dad wears jeans in the pulpit and preach shorts. Literally come as you are. So if I didn't want to do it, I didn't do it, and he also didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
He was a cool, pretty fun. Literally, hats we had church in the park one day. It was super fun. All the dresses were no.
They're just doing everything everybody else is doing, but because they have that, it's bring my kids to work every week type of life, they have to live by a certain standard that other people don't have to live. So, do you think that it's hard to listen to or take advice from your parent because he or she is a pastor?
Not with mine.
Because 9 times out of 10, they're going to be right. Because they can. I'm saying, like, as far as them seeing something that happened, and they tell you what to do to prevent it from happening.
Oh yeah, I get that. Like friends and stuff, they like that's not your name.
Yeah, like,
Yes, it is. We not
like
friends.
they'll tell you, "Oh, I don't like her." You know?
Uh-huh.
If you got real parents, they'll tell you,
Yep.
"Oh, I don't like her."
You're right about that.
Spot on.
And it's like they I don't know how they do it, but they find a way to mix reality with, you know, you gotta with the words, like, okay, you know you're not okay, but give me reality. I already know the word. Give me what I need to know. I mean,
Tell me what I
it's
don't
what I
need
need
to
to know, right?
Right.
But at least for my dad, I know, you know, some of y'all parents do the same thing. They mix the reality with the word. You know this is what really happened, but I'm gonna tell you what you really supposed to be doing. So it's a mixture of that.
Do you think it says something about a preacher if his or her kids refuse to attend their church?
Yes.
Yes.
Speak on it.
Because if your kid don't go to your church, like what's wrong with you? If you can't drive your children to go to church and you help create them, something's wrong.
Something wrong at home.
Yeah.
Definitely. And if they want no parts of the ministry because of that,
Exactly.
you can tell. That's either they're not living what they're preaching, or I'm not going to go too deep.
They be living two different lives. At church, they be like, hallelujah, da, da, da. They go home and just get jump, you know. So,
How has being a preacher's kid impacted your relationship with God?
I think that it made my relationship with, I think it just forced my relationship with God to just be greater than it already was. Like, I never had a chance to not have a relationship with God. Like, I've always known Him. So when I encounter people who don't pray or don't know how to pray, I'm like, what? That is confusing to me. Because I wake up, I pray. I pray on the way. Just pray. You know, and it's a lot of things that they just don't know. Like, I'd be like, oh, I have to go to church on Sundays. And like, why do you have to go to church? Because that's what I grew up doing. It feels weird not going to church.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm not at church. And they don't understand that. How do you be there all day? How you don't be there all day?
Right.
How you
What are you doing on Sunday?
right.
I think it's what Amber said. It kind of forces you to have because like growing up, obviously you know right from wrong, but then you start growing up to see that God is real, and it kind of forces you to start having a relationship with God. So it's like, you know, I have this relationship with God, and so now it's like, at least for me, like going to school, I know these people don't have a relationship with God, so maybe it's something that I can, you know, like help them to have a relationship with God. Like, you know, stuff like everything is just not because it's bad. Like, it's because God, you know, intended for certain stuff to be. Exactly. So that's my take on it.
I feel like my relationship with my dad grew my relationship with God even stronger because I seen my dad go through so many things, and I literally watched him pray, and it's just like his whole life did a 180. So I'm like, dang, I want to know what that feel like. So I'm praying and just recently started reading my Bible. I am not going too long. So it's been some stuff going on in my life that I prayed for, and my life did a complete 180. So I'm like, dang, this what having a relationship with God do. But I'm like, I want more of this. So that's me. I love prayer.
It impacted my life a lot because just seeing my parents and traveling with them around the world, basically seeing the lives that they impacted, the lives that they changed and stuff. And with my parents, they never forced me and my sister to go to church. They never forced us to have to just know God. They gave us the opportunity to know and serve God for ourselves. So that's really what impacted my life?
I wouldn't say being a preacher's kid. My answer is actually the opposite of all y'all's time. But I wouldn't say being a PK impacted my relationship with God. I feel like just growing up and just watching and observing and seeing some things that like happen within the church and within like my parents' relationship and everything, that really kind of like impacted my relationship with God, not necessarily me being a PK or me being a preacher's kid. So yeah.
As preachers' kids, are you harder on yourself when you make mistakes?
Yes.
Like, I don't really care that I'm a preacher's kid. Like, I care, like, you know, my dad's a preacher. But I didn't ask to be a preacher's kid. So I'm going to still live how I live, do what I do. I understand that at the end of the day, my last name is still Phillips. I am a reflection of him. But I didn't ask to be in this position. So take me as I am. I know right from wrong. I'm going to, you know, clearly choose the, not all the time, but I'm going to clearly choose, you know, the right way to live.
Yes, because of the powerful relationship that I have with my dad. So I feel like if I make a mistake, it's like, dang, I done failed my dad. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like me and my dad are probably the closest people two men can get together on this earth.
It is. I love that.
So and then it's the person that I am. I'm always hard on myself when I make a conscious mistake.
So me personally, no. I'm not hard on myself. I really don't care, honestly. Like you said, like I didn't ask to be this. But I do not be tripping. Like when I make mistakes, I own up to my mistakes or whatever. But I'm not about to be like, oh my gosh, all these people gonna be looking at me because I did X, Y, and Z, and they're gonna think that I'm just such this bad person because of who my dad is. I could care less. Like people gonna think what they want, they're gonna say what they want. Period. So I'm gonna, do what I know is right, what I know is best. But I'm not about to be hard on myself because of that. Because I know my dad is a preacher. Okay, and what that got to do with me, like. But yeah, that's just me.
Okay, Chris.
No, I'm not hard on myself at all about that. I'm just the type of person where I like keeping like good relationships, and I like being like impressionable to people. I mean, I feel like it's a difference from wanting to be impressionable and caring about what somebody thinks. Like it's a difference to me. I just like being impressionable, but like if I make a mistake, I don't feel like like everyone makes their own mistakes. Whether your mistake is going left and my mistake is going right, it don't matter. We both make mistakes, so that's yeah.
Yes, I am harder on myself, not even just because my parents are both pastors, but just the fact I don't want to ever disappoint them. So and then just with them being in church and basically knowing and just being around and stuff, I never want to make them look bad, if that makes sense. It makes a difference. So that's how I feel about things.
Wait,
Maybe I should care a little
more. Besides our parents being pastors or ministers or anything, you still want them to know, okay, that's Montgomery's son right there. Okay, you know that he's doing well. You know he's going to be a reflection of his father, of his mother and stuff. So that's why I try and keep I don't know. I'm just weird, I guess.
No, you're not.
Because I just think like that. I'm just like, man, how would I feel if my parents found out I was doing this, and how would that just go? It's not.
Are they gonna like whoop you?
No, it's not so much as being whooped or anything. It's the disappointment that they'll have towards you.
Okay.
That's something that I never actually want to have. I want my parents to look at me and be like, oh, that's my son. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of the man that he has become.
That's why I'm more about keeping it honest. So I'm gonna tell you my mistake before somebody else.
Yes, that's
gonna tell you my mistake because I know I'm not gonna make too dumb of a decision. So it might be dumb, but it might not. It might not be too dumb to where somebody else gonna tell you, oh, like what's Bishop's son did this. So my parents gonna already know before anybody else could tell them what I did. So they already have that understanding. When someone else comes and tells them something, okay, I already talked it out with them. We already discussed it. That's what that is. So, yeah.
Okay, I love this question. What do you think people fail to understand about ministry and the sacrifices your parents have to make regarding family?
That it's a 24-hour job that they
Oh,
They don't understand that the pastor and first lady, they have a family of their own too.
Yeah.
Okay? So sometimes, most of the time, just living, our needs and our stuff are kind of, I don't want to say pushed to the side.
Push to the back.
They are.
Yes.
But they are.
And that's,
They definitely are.
and they don't understand that. People that go to the church and stuff, they don't understand. Okay, yes, your family went to the hospital. My dad lost his brother 2 days ago. You didn't say anything. Nothing. But yet you want to come because your sister, cousin, friend is in the hospital because he was out selling drugs. And guys, it's the truth.
That's true.
It's the truth.
It is the truth.
But yet you still want your pastor, your first lady to come, be at your beck and call almost.
Yes.
And that sucks.
Not fair.
That sucks.
Let TJ go. He been boiling. Let him go.
Miss birthdays.
Man.
My dad done missed. My dad had his first church for 7 years. We went almost 4 years without a Christmas because of ministry. I'm not complaining because I know how much ministry means to my dad.
Right.
However, people don't understand the sacrifices that someone that actually cares about y'all.
But also, it comes down to the pastor and our parents as well. They have to be able to just split the time, have a healthy balance between the two. Because at the end of the day, besides you being a pastor and stuff, the Bible always says take care of your family before taking care of the church. Okay? So you have to take care of your family. It has to be a healthy balance, okay? Like, that 4 years of Christmas, I don't know how you did that. Christmas is my favorite holiday, okay? And one thing I can say about the 25 years of life, my father has never missed a Christmas. Whether he's had to fly in on Christmas Day, he has never missed a Christmas. He may have missed something else, maybe a birthday or two, but he always would make sure that he spent at least some time with us.
Yeah.
No matter if he's been on the road 4 months at a time, he still will always come back and spend that time. I have to every year. Christmas, Thanksgiving.
I'm talking about forget the sacrifices, but they don't see the behind the scenes. That's I feel like there's a difference between I'm openly sacrificing rather than the stuff that you don't even know I'm doing on the back end. I've been saving the church this whole 15 years and you not even know it. I've been paying for my job for the church. And y'all just see me going to work every Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So, I'm sorry, So with don't say that. So with my dad has never had a salary at this church. Okay, so when the church building is not there, or we're lacking in some department and stuff, and bills still have to be paid, my dad will still take the money from our family. We'll go lacking for church to be good.
Yes.
And that's honestly that's a problem.
It is.
That's a problem.
I was very upset.
What?
Not with God. But with the
Church people.
Yes.
I used to watch my dad preach a full sermon, sweat all his clothes out, and he had to go to work literally after service.
Yes.
Like,
oh my gosh.
He putting his girls on like, I gotta go in. Y'all still make sure y'all at that 3:30 service though, because the church we gonna be there. Make sure they put the $200 when offer time, and y'all be there. But I gotta work, so that's an open sacrifice. But you ought to know, like, I'm sacrificing the money that I'm getting paid here to keep the church going. So
the money. When the church the offering is not what it's supposed to be on Sundays, they take their money from their actual job, from the family, like he was saying, from the family, from birthday parties planned, all that, and put it back in. Y'all don't see that.
A lot of people don't know.
We go without so the church can still go around. Like I was saying, like I couldn't go to Disneyland. I was very upset about it. It was my birthday. Every kid deserves a Disneyland day.
Yeah.
It's very serious. Like games he did not go. My dad would. My whole 4 years of being on the drill. Well, 3 years of being on the drill team. My dad came to one game because they were on Friday nights, and he had Friday night prayer and worship, and someone died, and all this. I am his only child. I feel like, only child syndrome is real.
It is. I have it too.
And I was really upset with him and stuff like that. But it's like, how you gonna be mad at him for serving God? Like, who am I?
He
But
won't
I'm
miss
your
another
daughter.
drill game.
Oh, like,
Yeah, we all went to the same high school.
We did.
All right. So, would you consider your parents to be strict because they are in ministry?
No.
He just strict just because.
My dad is not strict. He's a parent.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So,
different. Yeah, that's different.
So it's like, and then my dad allowed me to have a childhood. He allowed me to be a teenager, and he allowed me to be an adult.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's not like, oh, the church started at 10 o'clock. You need to be there at. No, it wasn't like that. You feel what I'm saying? And even in my younger years when I was in school and stuff, it wasn't like people think it is. Like, people look at y'all know my dad. People look at him and think he's.
No, he's
Truth be told, my dad is.
Wait, people think your dad is strict?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
My dad is really literally the coolest guy you'll ever meet. My mom as well. I love my mom.
My mom too.
Like, my parents.
I'll always love my mama. She's my favorite girl.
And then it's like my parents were the kind of, cause my parents are not together, so their relationship, co-parenting, is crazy, and a lot of people don't know that it's possible to not be together and still have a friendly relationship in co-parenting. It's possible, but my parents been doing it for the last 20-something odd years. So, my parents are not strict.
Ricky?
So, with all of my friends, my father is referred to as the general.
Oh, wow.
Okay? My dad, I have a military father. Okay? He was a Marine and he was in the Army.
Oh, goodness.
So, and then on top of that, him pastoring, he can be very, very, very strict. I remember it was my prom, my senior prom, and I was out till about 2 o'clock in the morning. I came home because we getting off the bus and stuff. We gonna change clothes. Then we going to Denny's.
Right.
So, first of all, what y'all not gonna do is disrespect an after hour spot when you're 17, 18 years old.
Only place you can get in.
It ain't gonna be checking. So anyway, I decided, I'm about to go to Denny's. My dad said, no, that's not what you're about to do. So, me being the person that I am, I said, well, I'm not.
Get him, General.
So because I'm like, it's my senior prom, okay. My mom was like, you can go ahead. But still, my dad being my dad, he was like, no, you're not going. And because I would be the person that I ask my dad, if you say no, I am going to go and ask my mama. And whoever say yes, that's what I'm going to do with. But it's just when they talk together, they talk amongst themselves and say, well, I told him he couldn't. And I be, But with that, my dad is very strict, but he can be lenient to a certain degree. I know, I used to be bad. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so punishments would be dished out and stuff. Especially I get in trouble at church and stuff because I didn't know how to sit down. But it's always I be in trouble and stuff. I learned my lesson and stuff, and the punishment that was supposed to be 2 weeks ended up being 3-4 days. So, but Ricky Jose. Senior. Okay, senior. He is strict. More so, my mom is a little laid back, but she's still strict too. At the end of the day, you're gonna do what they want you to. Well, not what they want you to do. What you need to do.
Right.
Montgomery's, if y'all are watching, y'all did that with Ricky.
This is where your strictness got you.
Yeah, he's a good young man. We love him. He's very good.
Thank you too much.
So I think growing up, yes. More so now that I'm older, not really. Just because I understand that parents want like the structure, the whole, you know, the whole order of church. Supposed to be at church, make sure you're on time for church. Make sure, you know, not walking around during church, not too, you know, just the whole extras. I feel like when I was younger, yeah. But now, strict for what? Like, we're old, we're grown.
Okay, so my dad, I want to say my dad was strict to a certain extent, but also my parents were not together, but my mom still supported my dad as a friend and still came to the church. So they would always assume that they were like together and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, they can be friends.
Right.
Like, she liked the way he dressed.
She likes the way
Like that. That's a little weird. You know.
You got the oil. You got the oil.
Thank
that's
you.
right.
It don't matter. The word is,
It's
you know.
good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, like the whole prom thing. My dad, he was not tripping when it came to prom. My mom, and she not even nothing. I mean, she's something, but like in the Lord.
Did
how
she
do I
work
say
at our
this?
school?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
My
that's
mom
different.
worked. Yeah, she
Yeah.
was a teacher.
She was the coolest. The coolest.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So Amber, you were saying
Right.
your mom was
My mom was strict about prom, but I mainly think she was very strict because she worked at the school, and I was trying to go to Eddie's. You remember Eddie?
I remember Eddie.
Eddie is never mind.
It got shut down, y'all.
It did get shut down.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, my mom worked at the school or whatever, so she was like super strict. My dad, on the other hand, when I was thinking, she was like, "Call your dad." I didn't want to call him because I'm thinking he gonna be like, "No, you got church and I'm on it." But he didn't. So she ended up. I never called my dad, and I regret this to this day. I never called him and asked him. I just listened to my mom. I go to church the next day. He was like, "Oh, I thought you was gonna be at home today, being tired." Tired from what? You didn't go to after prom? No. Your baby mama said I couldn't go. And she was like, and he was like, "Why you didn't call me?"
Oh, man.
But he was, my dad's real cool, but about being on time for church, he was very strict about that.
You need to be at Sunday school.
Oh,
Right, so that's another thing. My dad doesn't do Sunday school.
You
He
see,
never liked that as a child. So when he got his own church,
It was nuts.
Mhm.
Yeah, I should have been.
Sure.
ain't no Sunday school, ain't no none of
Sundays,
that.
man, let me tell you something.
I'm not saying it's not vital, like it's important to some.
That's some.
not.
That's some. That's not reality.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Sunday school, y'all. I feel like Bible study is more important than Sunday. Okay, look. One is
Shake
not
the table,
sis. Shake the table because I'm gonna just be honest. I've never understood Sunday school. Why are we going to Sunday school this early? Sunday school should not be at no 8, 9 o'clock. And then you want me to sit in church for another 3?
But it's like, what is Sunday school? Like, what is it? How is it different from
Like they tried to make Sunday school like a review Bible study. Like this is what we're gonna go through on Bible study this week, and then on Sunday morning we're gonna come back, we're gonna refresh, we're gonna
if the people wanted to review
that
it?
don't even make sense.
If the people wanted to review it, they will
would.
review it. Like, I don't get it. I just don't understand. I'm gonna be honest.
Sunday school, I don't get. Bible study, yeah.
Sunday school
school is
is
not-
vital. Sunday school is
It's
vital.
vital.
It's just so boring.
Yeah,
You
that's
learn
very
to
true.
That's
Okay.
the version of Bible study. If you go to
Thank
Bible study,
you.
then you don't need to go to Sunday school.
Thank you.
But there's still, so you mean to say that you shouldn't have 2 lessons throughout the week?
I mean,
No. We're not saying you shouldn't.
Okay, but Sunday school Bible study is where you learn about your walk with Christ.
Very
You
true.
go there.
I don't. Okay. True. I hate Bible
Yeah.
study. When we had our church in Long Beach, we would have Sunday school. Me being the person I am, I'm never in Sunday school. I'm walking around looking to see what's about to be at the bake sale, trying to get some snacks and stuff. Yes. But I agree, but Sunday school is vital. It is. It's just so
Hashtag
boring.
bring Sunday school back.
No.
I'm sorry.
We ain't gotta bring it
Y'all
back.
can bring it back. I will not be in attendance, but I will send my love.
Sunday school is for the
To the
seasoned
books.
saints, for Margaret and Doris.
I'll read. That little book y'all be. That
Sunday
little book
school.
y'all be having. I'll have
You
them
know what they need
on
to
Sunday.
bring back? Vacation
Respectfully.
Bible school.
No.
Vacation Bible school was
No.
No, I didn't like
No.
it.
Y'all didn't
No.
know the right one.
I already touched on this, but have you ever felt like the ministry came before you?
Yes.
Yes.
In every
Absolutely.
aspect of life.
every time, every day,
Absolutely.
all day, every day,
Yes.
25/8,
Now, yeah.
365, 24/7.
But sometimes, I kind of wanted it to go Like, it was one time I had a seizure, and I was, like, at my dad's house just chilling. But he was also up to preach for one of his best friends, Jawan Hilton. Shout out to you. Y'all know Hilton?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, if you're watching.
We know. So he was out of town, and he had told my dad, like, oh, I need you to preach for me, da da da. But I had a seizure. But I was feeling better, so I'm like, you need to be here, I'm good. But I'm like, dude, just go preach. Like, that's your best friend. You just be there for him. You can't have church without preaching. I mean, you can have church without. I've been to
preaching.
I like that.
We didn't have.
So, but yeah, that was a time where I was like, okay, like, just go. If he didn't want to go, he wants to stay with me, and I appreciate that. But you have an assignment on your life. Do that. I will be okay.
I like that. Do you feel like when you mess up, it's a reflection of your parents?
Always. Even if they weren't who they are, it's still a reflection. You carry that last name. Like, remember who you are when you leave this house.
Yeah. Remember who you represent.
Yes.
That's Cheryl Montgomery. Mm-hmm. But knowing that last name, does that keep you from doing some of the things?
No.
You still gonna do what you gonna?
See, this is the thing. My dad did what he wanted when he was my age. He had that Phillips last name because my grandfather was a pastor, and it just all the way. Ooh.
Generation.
Yes.
Lineage.
Yes.
So he,
I like that word.
not like that. My dad is real. My dad been to jail 8 times. Like, he's real. Had that life. No, I told him that I was gonna do this. He was like, "Tell him the real. Tell him the real."
No, her dad is so lit.
And he will tell you he's been to jail 8 times, all for whatever reason you think that was the reason.
Her.
Yeah. So he lived his life. He didn't hit his dad, Eugene Phillips. Maybe y'all think y'all parents are strict. Shit. He sat on that couch and waited for you to come home. He was very real militant, real not playing. So my dad kind of lived the life that I lived, but 10 times worse. Like, he was. That's why my dad, like, he's strict, but to a certain extent. That's what I was saying. So I mean, hey, I'm gonna do what I do, and it all falls on me. I'm grown, so if I do something that I'm gonna end up in, you're not gonna go to jail. I am.
It was like for me, the whole last name issue. My parents would always say if you were to do something like as far as drinking or taking in the herbs.
I was gonna say weed.
Smoke weed.
What's wrong with something?
Do it with family or people that you feel comfortable with doing it with. So that's just me personally. I started everything that I do.
Your parents' knowledge.
With their knowledge.
It could just be me, but I don't be tripping. Like, I mean, of course I know that my last name is attached to my dad's, of course, but I'm not about to, like, before I do whatever I do, like, my dad, he gonna think X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, he's the
or
last
the people
person
gonna think X, Y, and Z, so I can't do that. I'm gonna do what, I want to
But
do. Not like that, but I'm gonna do what I, want to do. So I'm not gonna go around thinking that everything I do, I don't know, like, it's gonna be on him. If I mess up, like, it's on him. Honestly, no. Like, he has his mistakes, I have mine. Like, 2 different people, 2 different lives. But I guess I could see how y'all could feel, like, how y'all could feel, like, if I do something, if I do something, like, the whole world's gonna come crashing down because of who my dad is. Like,
Now I take into consideration what he would think.
Not even that.
I mean, but that doesn't determine what I do.
You still don't do
So
that.
I'm like, oh, I know he gonna trip about that, but
I already said before I never want to just disappoint my parents.
He makes me feel so bad.
I should.
Like, I just want to do my life all over again.
Yeah, you gotta reflect. It's a reflection.
Yeah.
It's a reflection.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't want to look in that mirror.
I know. Because when you look in that mirror looking back at you.
Yeah, and it's looking back like, bro, you had fun now.
Okay. All right, so I have one last question for you Saints. So I know specifically you 3 have siblings that are of the opposite gender. Do you feel like your parents were easier, like if it's a boy or a girl? Explain.
They're definitely easier with work.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. My sister was the freaking golden child.
You seem a little upset.
Yes,
Right.
I am.
Courtney, if you're watching, we sorry.
Yeah.
Courtney, if you're
But
watching.
would it be the other way around? Because she's the girl. Like they
No.
would be
Stricter
stricter
on
on her.
No.
Really?
Okay.
That's crazy.
Courtney was the golden child of the family.
Is she the
Okay.
youngest?
No, she's the oldest.
Courtney.
Oh wow.
She's the oldest.
So
So basically, so basically, my parents, in a way, they would kind of like compare us
okay.
in certain
Yeah,
like facets of life.
Yeah.
So like me, Courtney was always straight A student. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
some
Court.
B's and some C's. Okay, but they always like, well, we know you can do better. Nah, I'm giving you what I got. Okay, at this point. So in just like different areas, they will be, well, your sister did this, your sister did that. Okay, okay.
And
But she can't do what I can do. I don't know. It's different because with her, like Courtney sings and I normally play for her. So us being in church, it kind of like helped actually our relationship once we got older to a certain thing. Because with her being the oldest, me being the youngest, she hated me for a long time. Yes, she used to hate my guts. But now, since we used to have to work together, that's my dog. That's my dog. But now I'm the golden child since she's moved away and everything.
I mean, you're the only one there now.
Me and my sister, we were raised to do everything and to be treated the same way all the time. Yeah, it's something because she's the baby girl, some stuff that she got to do and she got that I didn't get to do. But at the end of the day, me and my sister, we were never like we butt heads, but it wasn't to the point to where it would threaten our relationship. Like the older we got, the closer me and my little sister got. Like to this day, she'll tell you she didn't had the same boyfriend for the last 4 years. I don't play that when it comes to my little sister. So we always grew up as, you know, if TJ got it, then Tamia got it. Or if Tamia, you know, wants to go eat somewhere, then we're going to give TJ the same thing. That's how me and my sister relationship.
The Wilkins family is just rolling so close.
So, I'm the youngest, so I got 2 older brothers and an older sister. But I feel like I got like, not the short end of the stick, but they was like really chilling with me. Like I did what I was supposed to do. Like I didn't really give them no problems. I mean, sometimes I did, but for the most part, I didn't. But as far as my brother, he was a little rough around the edges. You know, it took a little rocking and shaking to get him on the path he needed to be on. And so I feel like with him, they had to, you know, tend to him a little bit more just so that he could get where he is today. The door for growth. For me, it was kind of like they didn't have to do too much because, like, I know I got common sense. I know right from wrong. So it wasn't as strict with me as it was for him. With my older siblings, I feel like they probably might have got it a little bit harder too because when they were like young and my age, my dad had just like started in ministry. So things were fresh for them, things were new for them. So they might have got it like a little bit harder than I did. But as far as me, I'll be chilling. Like I'm not gonna make no problems, like do what I'm supposed to do. And that's that.
Period, y'all. Well, thank you all so much for your contribution to.
I wasn't even a host today.
Yeah, that's good.
She seems to be a host.
But yeah, thank y'all for watching. We hope that y'all got something from this. If y'all preachers kids out there can relate, know that you are not alone. You are not facing judgment alone. Everybody's judging you. It's fine. Everybody's judging you. But yeah, without further ado, we're gonna pray out. I'm looking
Go
at
ahead.
Ricky.
TJ. I was thinking, yes. Ooh, it looks like we got 2. There we go.
Go ahead, Minister TJ.
I prayed in my
Our
mind.
hearts and minds are clear.
Yes, sir.
Lord, we come to say thank you. We want to say thank you for a great podcast. I want to thank you, Lord, for giving these 2 young entrepreneurs the platform that they have to speak and give the youth a voice that most youth don't have. I want to take this time to say thank you for all the many blessings that you have given us at this table that you're going to give. I want to pray for traveling grace that we get to our destination safely. I want to pray for all of our families. Keep our families in your blood. Keep our families safe. And I just want to thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Yeah, you might want to render some selection real fast.
I see the backdrop.
Right when I said my mama did something.
That was her. That was her.
My mama used
Yeah.
something, but like you know, like a pastor.
No, because this your mama. She is like, keep on, Amber. Keep on.
She did.
Yeah.
She did. She said,
Keep
keep
on.
on. I'm not one of your little friends.